All right, folks, we're going to get started here. Welcome. I sent everyone an email earlier today. Please reference that email and set up two categories in Infinite Campus. I gave you some very specific instructions on how to do that because this is kind of the confusing part is that, Canvas talks to Infinite Campus. And in order for us to be able to send assignments from Canvas over to Infinite Campus, we have to sync our assignment groups in Canvas with those categories in Infinite Campus. All right, I know that's a lot. Like what? All right. Here's the thing. I am recording this session here, so if I go too fast or if you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea where he is right now, please note that I will send this out to all of you. All right. In addition, I also have this. Oh gosh, where did I put it? Give me a moment here. It's on the I'm going to give you guys this slide deck. It doesn't have a lot of stuff in it other than the agenda because most of the visuals will happen here on my screen. But there are some links that are pertinent in the speaker's notes. And I put one link. I just can't remember where I put it. So give me a moment. I got to look through all of them. There it is. Okay. So here is the link to my slide deck. And right here on this slide, says resource available. This is slide 5. In the speaker's notes, I've given you, take a look here, another slide deck. I don't want to be too confusing here, but this has got kind of like a self-service version of a lot of the stuff that we'll be doing here with some very specific instructions. All right, so note that if you're struggling or I'm going too fast, that resource is available. I'm recording this, like I said, and I'll send you out a nice little email with the link to this session, with the link to the resource, with all the stuff that we're doing here today, okay? So that you can feel supported in what we're trying to do, which is to get you set up for your Canvas classes. All right, we're going to set up our Canvas courses for the 26-27 school year, and we know that we will, I like the nice and simple learning intention and success criteria. We know that we will be successful if we do it. All right, take a look at our agenda. For very first thing here is going to be cross-listing. We mentioned this here kind of in the very beginning. One of the teachers was asking about cross-listing. You want to do this if you're going to decide to do this. Highly recommend that you do. And I'll talk about why you'd want to do it in a moment. But you'll want to do this before any student submits any assignments. So if you start to use your Canvas and you're like, 3 weeks from now, you want to start cross-listing your class, but you have kids that already took tests and stuff, it's too late. You're going to want to do it at the very beginning of either semester 1 or semester 2. We'll look at the course settings, clean up our course navigation. We'll set up some assignment groups. There's so much stuff. We'll do an SIS sync. I'll ask for a volunteer to share their screen because I don't have it in the campus, and so I'll need that visual for you guys out there to do that. We'll do some grade syncs. We'll do some assignment grade group weighting. Oh my gosh. We'll reference the curriculum hub and make a syllabus. I've got a nice copy and pastable syllabus there for if you want to use that. We'll create a module and assign, take a look at some of the assignments. We'll set a home page. I'm thinking we might do that before the module part. Let me just put that right there. And we'll do some, we'll look at the Google Assignment LTI tool. It's an external tool that allows you to connect your Drive with Canvas. We'll chat about accessibility. Oh my gosh, how are we going to pull this off? Accessibility, we'll publish the course. And then I've got this bonus here. I was hanging out with AI, and I found this really cool way to have AI write some test questions for us. You're not going to believe it. It's brand new to me. I blew my mind when I was able to do it. It's super advanced, though. And so I'm thinking like at 10 a.m. in 56 minutes after our session, that'll be like a little bonus. If you want to hang out and see that, then you can do it. If not, then you can get off the call, I guess, right? But that'll be kind of on your own if you want. All right, so a lot of stuff here. Let's do cross-listing. Oh my gosh, here's what we're going to do. So I'm hoping that you guys can follow along. What is cross-listing? Cross-listing allows you to run, if you teach multiple sections of the same section. So let's say that you teach biology honors, period 1, 2, and 3. Instead of having to manage 3 different sections of that biology course, you can rather run all of your biology sections out of just one course. It's what I would do. Now, there's some reasons why you might not want to do it. If you're an ELA teacher, some of the resources, the tools, the links with HMH don't seem to work. We keep saying, when is this going to be fixed? And they're like, well, we're working on it, and it just like doesn't happen. So if you're an ELA teacher that uses the HMH link tool, you might not want to do that. What else? If you're an elementary teacher, you might not want to put all of your different sections. I know that an elementary teacher might open up their Canvas and see 10 different sections, one for homeroom, for reading and writing and social studies and all that stuff. You don't put those all together. That's not really what cross-listing is for. But if you are departmental, let's say that you're the social studies teacher or the science teacher within your small group, you can cross-list those different sections into yours so that the other teacher students could exist within your Canvas class. That's not a bad idea. All right, Autumn says, can we use Canvas and Google Classroom and have them both sync? That doesn't work, no. But Canvas separately will sync with Infinite Campus, and then Google Classroom separately will sync with Infinite Campus. So you can use them both platforms. I would talk to your principal or your supervisor about whether or not they want you to do that. But yeah, if you can manage two different systems, why not? All right, but like I said, yeah, that's kind of controversial. So you might want to chat with your supervisor first because parents might have issues. It might be confusing. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So if you're going to cross list, here's how I do it. I'm going to pretend like I have 3 different sections here. So I want you to right click, go to your dashboard. You're logging into Canvas, please. Go to your dashboard. It might be called Home, I believe, if you're an elementary teacher. Go to your dashboard. I want you to right-click all of the like sections. If you're going to cross-list, right-click and open as a new tab each of those like sections. So all of your Biology 9 sections for semester 1. What I do is, so I'm going to put 3 classes together, we'll say, right? So that first tab is going to be the one that you'll run all of those sections out of. And then the other second and third tab, in my case, or the 4th and 5th, depending, are the other classes that will be cross-listed into the first tab. You follow me? And I'm just using, I need to have like an SIS number, so I'm using some old classes from 2020. Mentorship, for the pandemic, let's not think about that anymore. All right, so I'm giving you guys a moment. I've asked you to go to your dashboard or your home in Canvas. We've right-clicked all of those like sections, open as a new tab. And here's what we'll do next. From that first tab, from the section that you're going to run all of the others out of, we'll go down to the settings. So scroll down to the course navigation. Settings should be on the very bottom. We'll click, open that up, and then you should have an SIS ID number here. It looks like for me it's underneath time zone, above sub-account. We're going to very carefully select those the numbers. I say carefully because sometimes we add like an extra space in there, and that we don't want the space. So make sure that you only have the numbers. We need the SIS ID, and I'll copy it. I need the SIS ID number for the section that I'll run all of my other sections out of. Okay, if you want to, I mean, you can just write it down too, and then, type it in. So that was our first tab. Let's go to our second tab. We're actually going to need to go to the settings for each of the sections, but in different ways. So let's go to our second tab, the one that, we're going to cross-list this second tab, this section into the first one. So open up the next tab. We'll go down to settings. This time what we'll do is, once we're at settings.
Is the second tab called sections?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking here at my Chrome. I don't know what you're looking at. So yeah, I'm looking at my tab. I'm referencing the tabs of Chrome. And then.
Oh, Oh,
There are some other tabs, though, technically down here. So I'm looking at course details. We will click on sections. So let's do that now.
okay. So click on sections.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to be descriptive because I know that you guys are probably not looking at the meat. You're probably looking at your own tabs, which is great. So from that the second class, second section, we go to settings, click on sections, and then open the section. Click on it. Open the section. So click one time, whatever the section is called, click on it, and you should see like current enrollments potentially, students' names and all that stuff. But look on the right-hand side, it says cross list this section. Click on that button, cross list the section. And where we copied that SIS ID number from that first class, we're going to paste that into the area where it says enter the course's ID. And again, if I added, it looks like I actually added an extra space. So it's not pulling it up. I'm going to make sure that those are only numbers, no spaces. Don't you love this system? Isn't it great? Hey, hey, hey. So make sure that it looks like I've got all my numbers in place. Give it a moment, and it will pull up that class from my first like tab, right? I'll click on that blue button, cross list this section. And it's done. Get rid of that tab. It starts to get confusing if you got all those tabs, right? You got it? I'm going to do it again. Autumn says, yes. Remember, I'm recording this, okay? If you want to do cross-listing later, that's fine. I'm recording this.
What
Yeah.
if yours just says add a section?
Don't click add a section. Yeah. Well, here, watch what I'm going to do. Go back to the meet screen. I'm going to get rid of that second section, the second class that I was working on, and I'll go to my last class. I'll go to settings from the course. This course, by the way, is going to now exist within that first tab, the one that I have that SIS ID number. We don't want to add any sections. Watch what I do. So from the settings, I'll click on sections. We're not adding a new section. No, open the section. When I mean open, notice that for me it says student aid S1, my last name, the course number. That it's blue. That's because it's a link, right? It's got an underline. It's a link. Open the link. So don't add new sections at all. Absolutely not. No. We're going to open this section, and that's where we get that cross list this section. You got it? You see that? We'll click on cross list this section. We'll paste in that SIS ID number, noting that we might have an extra space because, well, who knows? I was really careful about not getting that space, but I'm actually happy it did because it's a good demonstration. All right, so just numbers, perfect. It pulls up that class. I click the blue button, cross list the section, and I'm done. I'll get rid of that tab. Now take a look. All that closing the tabs as I work. Now I've got one tab open. That's the tab that should have all of my sections in it. Take a look. That one tab, the master class, we'll call it. We'll give it a little refresh. And then click on sections, and you should now see more than just one section. I've got, well, three, right? I've got the original one plus my period 2 and my period 3. Now, if that was too confusing, I've got for us a little resource here, okay? I'm going to give, first of all, I recorded this section, this video, I should say. And in addition, I'm also going to give you guys like a little slide deck with some further instructions on exactly what to do with the clicking stuff. All right, so just keep that in the back of your brain. We've got a full agenda. So if you decide to cross list later for whatever reason, you'll have this resource for you. All right, pretty cool, right? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. If you like, generally use the little emojis down in the meet. Okay. I'll also say this here too. If you need it, I put this here If you want to book a virtual session where I'll sit down one-on-one with you, I'll put that link right there and you can set up something today. Actually, I think for tomorrow. All right, so that link I just put in the chat will bring you to a calendar like creation tool that allows you to book a session with me, and then we'll do it together. Cool stuff. All right, let's talk about, let's get back to our agenda here. So course listing, course settings, and cleaning up the course navigation. So open up a Sandbox if you want. Open up that one class if you did cross list. Find the settings. If you're looking at my screen here, I've got just a massive amount of course links, like, Soundtrap, Big Ideas Math. I'm not a math teacher, right? Writable. I'm an ELA teacher, right? Lucid. I want to get rid of all of these. I want to make my class as easy to navigate for my students as possible. And I think the biggest thing that we can do is clean up that course navigation for them. There's links in there that you're never going to use. So go to your class and we'll click on settings. Click on settings. And then those little links at the top here, the one, remember how we clicked on sections before? Click on the one next to it, navigation. And what we're going to do is clean it up. Get rid of all the stuff. Oh my God, there's so much. Get rid of all the stuff you're never going to use. What I suggest you do is just keep the things, the items, the links that earn points. Get rid of all the rest. And what you do is up to you. Let me get rid of all of it, including Google Gemini, Adobe Express. I'll keep GradeSync. That's a teacher-facing tool. Keep that one. But Soundtrap, what even is it? Anybody know? I'm just polling them. Notice what I'm doing if you're looking at my Meet screen. Podcast create. Ooh, maybe we need to do it. Yeah, take a look what I'm doing. I'm just pulling these items down into the disabled area below. I can also click on that vertical ellipsis, those 3 dots on the right next to each of those items, and click disable that way. Getting rid of all of them. You might want to keep Studio. No, I'm going to get rid of it though. Chat. I'll leave accessibility. That's a teacher-facing tool. Leave both GradeSync and accessibility. But modules, hey, that references points. Maybe I'll move that up to towards the top here. I like Ignite AI. Search is fine. I use announcements. If you don't use announcements, get rid of it. Discussions and assignments all reference grades. Same thing with grades. Some people will delete grades. I leave them up because all of my assignments come in through Canvas. So my grades in Canvas actually are plus or minus 0.01 percentage points with Infinite Campus. If you don't have all of your assignments coming in through Canvas, then disable grades because it might be confusing. Why is my grade different in Canvas than it is in Infinite Campus? I get rid of pages. I get rid of files. I'll leave syllabus. Yeah, rubrics, it's up to you. I get rid of it. All right. And then get yourself a nice order that you feel like kind of prioritize the modules up near the top, assignments, quizzes, discussions if you use them. Yeah, syllabus at the very top. Whatever you do, don't navigate away from this page until you click that save button. You can access Writable through the HMH platform too. So, I think all it is here is just a link that will bring you to the HMH website. So you can disable it. And by the way, I think that that's true. Any ELA teachers on there can confirm about what that Writable link does. That was a feeling answer. I feel like that's what it does. Right? I actually don't have access to a lot of these tools because of my integrations, but all right. But yeah, you can still access it. A lot of ELA teachers use the HMH platform as kind of their LMS, and then might use Canvas for their assessments. That's not a bad way to do it. All right, click save and marvel at how gorgeous your course navigation looks now. Simplified, right? Get me to the learning. That's what your kids are always saying right in the beginning of the period. Where's my learning, Mr. J? Well, we've made it a lot easier to get to that learning. All right, we're into it. You guys there with me? Give me a thumbs up if you're there. I'm loving it. All right. Good. If you're not there with me, note that I'm recording the session, and you can do this here. Here's one of my pet peeves. One pet peeve is course navigation that hasn't been beautified, hasn't been simplified. My other one is improper use of assignment groups. So from that course navigation, I want you to click on assignments. What happens is that we like copy in classes from, you know, Commons, or we copy in classes that we were using during the pandemic. And every time we do that, we start to create new assignment groups. And like, so we'll have 8 or 9 of these little groupings, all of them called assignments. It's like, what are we doing here, right? We need 5 assignment groups. One is called Q1 formative, one is called Q1 summative. The third and fourth are called Q2 formative and Q2 summative. And then the fifth one is semester exam. If you're looking at 8 assignment groups, all labeled assignments, you're not using Canvas to your maximum abilities, because this allows you to ensure that your grades in Canvas, if you weight them properly and set them up properly, such that your grades in Canvas mirror the grades in Infinite Campus. When I was teaching my AP Environmental Science class, all of my assignments came in to Canvas and then synced to Infinite Campus. In fact, I never touched Infinite Campus unless I needed to categorize an assignment. I never entered grades. I only entered grades in Canvas through the gradebook. It's an awesome tool. And because of that, because I had correct number of assignment groups, and they were properly weighted in Canvas, my grades were the same. And so students could look at their Canvas grades. There's like this little what if tool in their grade book. They can look to see what happens if they retake one of those exams by changing the grade in Canvas. And then, oh, I need to get a 10 out of 10 instead of the 2 out of 10 on this formative assessment. And that will bring me a 0.2 percentage points. And that brings me from a B into an A, right? So let's set up our assignment groups. The first one, if you're looking at something that I have, which is just a brand new sandbox, you might have just one assignment group. Let's actually edit this. So from your assignments tab, we'll click on that vertical ellipsis next to that gray bar. We'll click on all the way to the right, that vertical ellipsis, and we'll click edit. Let's label this one Q1 formative. And we'll click save. Let's make 4 more assignment groups. Like I said, another one called Q1 summative. So if you've edited that first assignment group, let's click on the plus group. That button next to the plus assignment, click on plus group. Let's make a Q1 summative. Click save. Continue the process. Let's do this for Q2, for quarter 2, is what I'm referencing, right? A formative and summative each. We'll get to those in October, right? Just adding a bunch of groups. Semester 1 final. Now, if you're an elementary teacher and you aren't using the quarters, you might want to just have a formative and a summative. Simplify it, right? In fact, if you're an elementary teacher, you're probably not going to have all your assignments in Canvas migrate over to Infinite Campus. So you probably want to turn off grades, right? And modify what I'm doing here. But if you want to have your assignments go from Canvas to Infinite Campus, we really need to now sync these categories. So let me give you guys another 30 seconds here, because you might still be typing. This is where give me one person out there who wouldn't mind, first of all, that has the 2 following conditions. You've already, okay, Jennifer, yeah, I don't know what you're referencing here. Yes, it allows students access directly. Yeah. Gotcha about the writable. A request failed. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Who out there, but I'll hang out after the session here today and we can troubleshoot a little bit. Let me ask you this. Give me a thumbs up if you want to share your screen and you have already done the following. You've created a formative and summative categories in Infinite Campus, and you have the 5 assignment groups. Who would like to do this? Dejolea, you don't have to publish them, no. Yeah, you do that in the very last thing. Dejolea, do you want to share your, who wants to share their screen? Anybody willing to do this? They want to, first of all, have both formative and summative categories already created in Infinite Campus.
I can.
And who says that? Vanessa?
Vanessa, yeah.
Vanessa, go ahead. From the meet, I want you to choose the little rectangle with the arrow pointing up.
Got it.
And then choose like the tab that you have Canvas open in.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Yeah, let's scroll up.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Now I'm looking at Q3 and Q4. So are we working? Okay. You're going to have completely. I want you to know this, Vanessa. You're going to have completely different Canvas classes for quarter 3 and quarter 4. So
that's
do
right,
not
for the semester.
Yeah, scroll back up though. Don't delete. We'll do that later. Scroll up because we're on a time crunch here. So scroll up. You're going to click. Look at the blue button where it says plus assignment. Click on that vertical ellipsis next to that plus assignment button. Not plus assignment. Nope. So go back. I want you to click on the vertical ellipsis. What happened to your? Are you in the correct class? The one that we were using before. Let's give it a quick refresh.
I apologize. If you need somebody else, I understand.
You're fine. Click on the vertical ellipsis, the 3 dots all the way up. You're going to click on Sync SIS categories. It's one of the options. This is going to now, so this is what someone was talking about. Request fail. Are you a new teacher, Vanessa?
Nope.
All right. Let me ask you all this. And so Jennifer also mentioned that this is a code that she's getting. Who out there is getting the same code? Is anybody not getting that code? Yeah, not a new teacher either. Yeah. Autumn, you're getting the code? Okay. Yeah. Odd. Okay. Well, this isn't going great, this part of it. Is it working for anyone?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so I wonder if there is, we have to wait potentially. Maybe some bigwig in the district has to turn this all on. Here's what we'll do, folks. Let me do this. Give me a moment.
Should I stop sharing?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, and thanks for hanging out with me. And we're doing this live. Let's see what happens. I've got this YouTube video that I was nervous about sharing with you because it's when I had longer hair and a mustache. Right. And I made this a little bit longer ago, but all right. Oh, I'm talking. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So this is what it looks like. So we'll click on that vertical ellipsis in the upper right. And I was thinner. Need to sync SIS categories, take a look what's going to happen. So it'll now link up with your Infinite Campus. As long as we've already created those formative and summative categories in Infinite Campus, Canvas and IC will talk. So we'll open up each of those really 5 categories, those 5 assignment groups. So open them up. which I'll do here. And once I stop talking, click the button, Chris. There it goes. Okay. Then we'll click unassociated. This is a nice video, actually. Look at that. And then we can categorize those formative assignment groups with the formative category. Likewise, do the same thing with your summatives as well. And so that process, that's what it's going to look like. And now that I'm showing you this video, I'm likely going to have to give you this video as well, even with that mustache. Okay, fun stuff. So that's what it looks like. You'll click the button sync, and once you do that, you have finished. All right. You'll do that process again, by the way, for semester 2 as well. Any questions about that? I know that's not the best way to do this here, but it seems that we're all getting that failed button. And yeah, when I do it though, take a look. I don't have Infinite Campus, and I'm actually able to pull it up. I just don't have any sections. So I'm not getting that failure response there. I'm trying to think why that would happen. But we'll click sync categories down there. Okay, folks. Yeah, that didn't work great. Classroom, Google Classroom. I'm going to be doing a session on that at 11 o'clock. It works. In fact, you don't have to do anything. It just works. Anyway. All right, so let's do assignment group weighting. All right. Let's do this. So remember that vertical ellipsis in the upper right-hand corner. And I appreciate you helping me out with this earlier, by the way, Vanessa. Let's click on that button. And this is where we can choose assignment group weights. So remember, sync SIS categories. Different option here is going to click assignment group weights. Let's click weight final grade based on assignment groups, and then choose the correct, 2080 or 1090, whatever it ends up being. Don't put anything in for that semester 1. You can deal with it. You probably have to do a little bit of math here once you start to account for that semester 1 if you want to have all of your grades be the same. But for the vast majority of quarter 1, we can just have 2080 split, 1090, whatever it is for your school site. We'll click save, and we're now properly weighted. All right, folks, let's do this. I want you to, any questions? You guys good? Looking at this time, this is the first time I've done this session here, so I'm kind of nervous about my timing. Yeah, all right. Feel like I've lost a couple of you, and I am so sorry whenever that happens, you guys. This can be complicated, this system. That's why I'm like, oh my gosh, Canvas is built like this really insane system here that with a lot of clicking. And I apologize.
Is there
Feel
for
free
when you're sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Vanessa. What's up? Yeah.
When you were telling us to do math, for the semester 1,
yeah,
because we're 2080, 28, what, I don't know what to put.
A little bit of math. Yeah. Okay. So if I came back over here, let's say that it's like whenever quarter 1, let me say it again. You'd have to, okay. So what is the semester 1 final is worth 20%, right? So if I've got a 2080 split for quarter 1, but also 2080 for quarter 2, I'm going to have to do a little bit of math. All 4 of these categories, if semester 1 final is worth 20%, all of the rest of these are going to be worth 80% total, right? So I go 0.2. This is really confused. 0.2 times 0.8, I believe, is going to give me 0.16, right? I'm sorry, 16%. I don't think I'm doing this right. This would be 16, and then this would be, I guess, what, 30, 24? 24. So that's what I'm talking about here. So we'd have to do a little bit of math.
Okay.
Good way to get around not having to do the math, turn off grades. And then the students can't look at that. You say, oh, your official grades in Infinite Campus. All right. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
I know that's confusing. That's the hard thing. There's so much to Canvas, right? And that right there is getting a little nitty gritty, getting into too much of the details, I think, for most of the people on this call. So um, we can create a nice session with me, do some one-on-one if you're at the point in your Canvas journey where you're ready to like really get into your group weighting. I might turn, I don't know, I was going to say turn that off, but take this out. Let's go to GradeSync. So remember there was one link on the course navigation called GradeSync that I suggested you keep on because it's teacher facing. Let's click on GradeSync. Look on the left, that course navigation, GradeSync. This is the area. Once you have properly synced your categories in Canvas and are ready to start to send assignments to Infinite Campus, you have to do that process first that we kind of were failing to do earlier, getting that weird message. But once that's all set up, this is where you can do that. I also want to point out the utilities. So click on Utilities, and we'll toggle on Nightly Sync. So anytime you have a new grade or a new assignment at like 2 in the morning, the system here, if we have this toggled on, will automatically send those assignments from Canvas to Infinite Campus. If you want to control the process on your own, don't turn this feature on. Not only can you send assignments here from this grade sync area, you can also do it from the grade book in Canvas. Whenever there's a weird message or weird like it doesn't seem to be working anymore, I know that sometimes clicking on this remaster grade passback button, it sounds really scary, but it just will send everything over all at once. And sometimes that's enough to fix some of those weird issues that might start to pop up over the course of Q1. So just know that in the utilities area of GradeSync is where you can have a little bit of control. All right, let me show you where that is in grades. So now I'm just going to click on grades. This is my grade book. This is what it looks like for the teachers. But in the upper right-hand corner is where I can sync to my SIS, my student information system, or Infinite Campus, in other words. So I can do that from GradeSync button, and I can, this is the button I'll always be using though, really, right, is from the grade book. As I start to have assignments in here, and I want to send those assignments from Canvas to Infinite Campus, I'll click on this little sync button, and that's how I can send the stuff over there. All right, fun stuff, folks. All right, Curriculum Hub is available for us not from the course navigation, but from the global navigation. That's what this blue or purple bar is, depending on what grade you work on. Find Curriculum Hub on there if you want. This is where all of your course scopes and goals can be found. This is where all of your standards can be found. I'll put the link to the hub into the chat and you can access it there. I love this. Like, you can use the breadcrumb trail, like click on high school and then click on the subject. Here's what you can do here too. Take a look, scroll down just a little bit if you're at the hub. What we're going to do is type in your course name generally, right? Like if I was a biology teacher, I'd type in bio, and that will pull up all of the courses that have the words or prefix bio in it, for example. So I can access those classes really easily and quickly by finding them with that little awesome table matrix below. All right, Lakeisha says, I keep getting an error code each time I attempt to do a step. Yeah, I'm so sorry that's happening. Are you still trying to sync? We're on that step still. We're at the beginning of the school year. There's a good chance that we're just not ready to do it.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Could it be because maybe if we try to sync it today, like we put in our Infinite Campus categories today, that it didn't have a
That
24 hours? No?
No, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. If you didn't have those categories, you can add them, and if it was working properly, you can pull them up really easy.
Okay, I was thinking that's maybe why I had the error code too, because I
Yeah.
just did it.
I'm so sorry that that's happening. I wish I knew that was going to be an issue prior to today, because I could have troubleshooted it a little bit easier. But what I'm going to do too, by the way, I'm going to talk to my Canvas people in the district, and that email that I send you, the one with this video recording and the link to all the resources, including that mustache video, I'll give you guys a little update as to why that may or may not be happening, okay, with my apologies. That way you're up to speed on that. All right, take a look. If you want to, use this copy and pastable syllabus. Use the one that that your school site administrator wants you to use, I suppose, but this one's got all of it in there. It might need to be a little updated. Use the word use template in the upper right-hand corner if you're looking. That will make a copy of this into your drive. Go through all the little yellow hashtags with all the little areas here. That's where you're going to type in your stuff. Get rid of the things that aren't applicable, like if you don't want to have office hours, for example, get rid of that. Or if you don't call them units, you call them modules. Make this your own. And note that it's got more or less all the stuff I feel like that you might want to have in there. Of course, talk to your department chair. They might have a better idea. But actually, let's get this into, so let's just pretend, if you want to, you can just watch what I'm going to do. So once you're finished, select all on that copy and pastable syllabus. We'll copy it. Then we'll head back over to Canvas. And if you're like me, you put syllabus all the way up at the top. I'll open that up. I'll click edit. And then I'll put it in there. Paste it in there, rather. And so that's how I can really fast get my syllabus with the course scopes that and goals, the stuff that I get from the curriculum hub. Make this my own. If I have a textbook, make sure all of that stuff, the required materials might be different here. But everything should be more or less there, all right? Including a little test retake policy, make sure that it aligns with your school site. But now I've got this gorgeous syllabus, and then you can always point to everything in your syllabus for any time a student has a question about your policies. What's cool too is that as you start to create assignments in your class, scrolling all the way down to the bottom, I have nothing there now, but all of that list of assignments and their due dates will start to show up in that course summary over there. So not only is it a really great place to house all of your expectations and all of that stuff, including that student code of conduct, but it's also going to be a list of assignments that students will access over the course of the semester one. All right, so make your syllabus. I gave you a little easy way to do that if you're interested. Let's set our home page. Here's what I think, right? Remember what I said at the very beginning? Let's go to home. What I said in the very beginning was to get the learning as fast as possible. I think during the pandemic, we started to have these home pages with a little memoji of, a cartoon of you pointing at a chalkboard. We don't even have chalkboards, right? I get it. Here's the thing. Most of us, unless we're at NVLA, most of us are brick and mortar. We're doing our classes live. You're the real person in front of the whiteboard. You don't need to have the picture of it in there either, right? In fact, all of that stuff, like your contact information, all of that should be in your syllabus. So putting it on the home page, in my opinion, it makes it redundant. And so I think the best home is just the modules. Kids log into Canvas, and when they do that, they're already on the home. And if you have to have modules, they're already there for all the students, right? Anyway, so from the home, though, on the right side, choose home page. And notice that you have a list of different things, right? You can choose the assignments list, that syllabus that we just made. For me, I'm always just going to keep the default course modules. It's the easiest thing in the world. Notice that if I wanted to have that page, though, the one that my department all uses, and they're making me use it, Mr. Justice, come on, please, with the slide deck with the daily questions and all that stuff. Look, you have to make that front page first. All right, so let's choose front page must be set first. And then we'll click, how about plus new page? And I'm just going to call this home page. Follow along, give me a quick home page, just put something in there and then click save. All right, you can design it later. Take a look. Isn't this like, it's so confusing? Canvas, what are you thinking? Now, once I've created that home page, look what I got to do. I'll click on that vertical ellipsis. Hey, never mind. Let's go back to the pages area. So now we'll click on pages on the course navigation. Click on the vertical ellipsis next to your new page. Oh, oh God. I think it needs to be published. Jesus. Yeah, oh my God, you guys. Make sure it's published. Once you've published, you can click on that little circle with the line through it, click publish, and then you can click on the vertical ellipsis, click use as front page. I love that. It's called front page here. I'm going to take this off the agenda. Tomorrow, we're not doing the front page. All right. So you got it, right? Page, publish it, set as home page, go back to home. And now we'll, rather than choose a front page, we're going to choose home page. And now that we've selected that, oh God. Now that we've created that page and selected it as our front page, we can now choose that to be our home page. And I love that this is being transcribed right now because I sound like a crazy person, but I'm just reading the words. All right, click save. And now, instead of having the modules be our home page, now we've got whatever we design in that one page. All right, fun stuff. That's going off the agenda. Yeah. Let's just get rid of that. You guys got a bonus today, sure.
Chris, I would keep it because a lot of people still need it. And even though you struggled with it today, you'll know tomorrow. I mean, a lot of us forget that, and I forgot about some things. So I would keep it in there.
All right, that's a good point. For me, it's just, it gets a little bothersome with all of the stuff that we have to do. And I feel like at 60 minutes here with one of these sessions, I am starting to have some of you guys likely zone out, and I apologize.
No, I think this is something everybody's going to have to do, and especially new teachers. I'm experienced and I forget where to click. So
gotcha. All right. All right, Elizabeth, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just want to chime in with her. I'm the same. Sure. I need this review every year. I don't know why. I always forget. So you are helping. Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes I get feedback like, come on, it's too much. I feel like, yeah, cognitive overload is likely setting in here. It is for me, because look at all the stuff we're going to still do. Oh my God. All right, let's do modules real fast. So let's click on modules on the left, that course navigation. We'll click on modules. And then let's you can click on create a new module or click on that blue button in the upper right-hand corner, plus module. And then we'll just name it, right? Unit 1, call it sample. With these drop-down menus, we'll work from the top down, right? So we typed in the name of the unit, and we'll click on that blue button in the lower right-hand corner, working from the top down, add module. Now we've got a gorgeous module. Thanks, Desert. All right, you guys, thank you. Just when I'm starting to sweat here. You're giving me the clap if you believe sort of situation. I appreciate your all help. Okay, so we've created a new module. Let's click on that plus sign, the one on that gray rectangle, right? The one that the brand new module we just created. Click on that plus sign. And then we'll work from our top down. So if we wanted to make a quiz, we'd choose that little drop-down menu and change it from assignment to quiz. If I wanted to add a page of content, we'll do that. But I actually just want to keep it right at assignment. Work from the top down. Now, click Create Assignment, the one in brackets. Type in, I don't know, Google assignment LTI 1.3. What? Just type in Google and then click add item. Now we've got a gorgeous assignment, but we still have to make it. So let's open it up. If you're like, you got a little preview of Google Classroom, you're like, I love the ability to create assignments, one copy of a Google Doc or a slide deck for every student in my class. This is how you do it. Rather, sometimes we'll make a copy and you click on the little link and now the kid owns it. This will actually make the copy for the student. You don't have to have them do anything. All they have to do is just open the assignment. So let's open up this brand new gorgeous assignments. We'll click edit in the upper right hand corner. Simple instructions. Remember, you're the teacher. You're making all of this stuff come alive, right? So I'm just going to say, do it. You don't need any instructions. Give me some points. Make sure that we've assigned it to the correct assignment group, Q1 formative, because this is going to be a formative for May for sure. And then here's where we're going to land on for a moment. I want you to click on no submission. Currently, there's no submission that will happen. We'll choose that drop-down menu. I hear you, Jennifer. Choose external tool. So our submission type, let's change it from no submission to external tool. We'll clickety-click find. And then choose Google Assignment LTI 1.3. Google Assignments LTI 1.3. Scroll down a little bit, so kind of in the middle. Choose it. First time you do this, you'll have to link your drive to your class. Do that, sure. And now I'm linked with my Google Drive. Now, prior to this, I might have already created my handout, but we're just practicing. I know that you have something in your Google Drive, so let's click Attach. And for me, I'm just going to add, this slide deck here. So choose something from, maybe it's the syllabus, who knows? Actually, yeah, notice I can choose two things. I'll choose two. I'll click Add. And then notice automatically, each student will get a copy of this. I'll choose Check Plagiarism. And then I believe the Canvas Speed Grader is the easiest way to grade these things, but you do have the option to use the Google version of their Speed Grader system. We'll click Create. And now I've just created an assignment where a Google Doc will be made for each of my students along with that slide deck. Finish the process by clicking on Select, and bingo, I've got a brand new assignment. All right. Now, your students will have to open this page, this assignment, in order for the system to automatically make that Google Doc for them. So if you start to look at your grades, like, why doesn't Johnny have one of the copies of the doc? Well, it's because they never opened the assignment. So that's one way to tell, right? All right. let me go back to assignment settings. I'm going to go back, re-edit this. I don't like it when it loads the tool in a new tab. I actually just like it right there, all in one. And as the students start to open up those assignments, you'll see all of the submissions here. I love this because you can open up the docs too. That's what I do with my new line screen. Let's look at Jennifer's response here. And you can actually pull it up, boom, and show everybody, give some live feedback to Jennifer or whoever's assignments and submissions you're looking at. Cool way to do it. All right, folks. Yeah, okay, we're going to be able to finish this in 6 minutes, knowing that that bonus is going to happen at 10 a.m. Let's chat a little bit about accessibility. The Americans with Disabilities Act was recently updated to include new guidance as to what online resources should look like, websites, also online Canvas classes. We can put alt text, alternative text, proper use of headings for people that might use screen readers. It's really important. And there's actually a really great accessibility tool that comes from Canvas that will help us do that. Now, there might not be a lot of stuff in our Canvas class yet, but as we go through and add things, you might want to always click on accessibility. In the upper right-hand corner, the first time we do it, we'll click Scan Course. Probably going to find something in that syllabus. No, it didn't. All right. It might flag some stuff if there's issues. If we're missing alternative text on images, that's a big one. We can actually use the Canvas AI to help us write those things. It'll be kind of apparent as you go through. But right now I have no issues because there's nothing in the class, but you get the point. Make sure you check in with this accessibility area, and we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, questions about that?
Chris, I just put in the chat. Will it also show if PDFs are like locked PDFs and not accessible and editable?
That's a great question. It does not follow links. So yeah, remember when I put this slide deck on this Google assignment, LTI 1.3 assignment, it's not going to go like check out that slide deck. So I'd have to actually make sure that all of my resources that are linked outside of Canvas are also accessible too. All right. So yeah, that's a great question. You can't, it doesn't look at your PDFs. Absolutely not. Yeah. All right.
So I'm going to give it a 2-second bid because my background is in assistive technology that ADA does require our PDFs to be accessible and editable as well. And there are ways our copy machines can do that. So double check with your site staff about making your PDFs accessible.
Yeah, and we can do that by making sure that we're using proper use of headings, right? Those tables that we might be relying on to like format graphics or to put stuff into, those tables need to have a header so that the screen reader knows exactly where it is, right? If it understands that row 1, what row 1 is in relation to everything else in the table. So setting that header is gonna be very important too. So yeah, using inline HTML, transforming that PDF into a page in Canvas. Now we can actually edit that stuff, right? So maybe transitioning away from PDFs and putting our content in as pages in our Canvas class allows this accessibility checker to help us a little bit easier if it's an HTML file. Great. Thanks, Wendy, for bringing in your expertise too. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, look at this. Last thing that we're going to do is publish that class. Don't do this yet, but I'll tell you, next Monday, all of your students, if you don't publish that class, your students won't be able to access anything until you publish it. So I'm at the home right now, the area where we chose our home page, and right, or for me, I'm going to choose it back to modules because for me, it's the easiest way to do it. Anyway, that's where you can add modules here too. Take a look if you have chosen modules as your home page. And this is also where the publishing area is. The course status currently is unpublished. We'll move over to published once we're set and ready to go. I don't suggest that you publish these courses yet until you're 100% ready. Please note, though, that students likely can't access this stuff outside of the window of opportunity. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have 1 more minute left. I want to go back to settings over here. It might be a good idea to take a look at some of these settings at the very bottom. I really love to show announcements on my course homepage. So I'll select that and then, make decisions as to whether or not you're going to hide totals in the student's grade summary or not. If you're not going to have all of your assignments in Canvas be the same as in InfyCampus, you might want to actually hide them. All right, that way it doesn't confuse students. I don't let students edit or delete their own discussion replies. I don't like that. They can just reply to themselves if they need to make corrections. All right, but yeah, settings are really important. So take a look, make some decisions as to what you feel those settings at the bottom of your course details should look like. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for 60 minutes as I tried to get through as much stuff as possible. We had some couple hiccups here, but I'll send you those resources here by the end of today, I promise you. All right, and I'll try to see what's going on with that class course code or failed code that we were getting. I feel like it's something, and I just don't know what it is, and I don't have an Infinite Campus, so I can't do it. For the advanced users, if you want to, let me give you all the survey link, and then if you want to hang out here, if I haven't confused you enough, I'm more than happy to confuse you more, because what we're about to do is for the advanced user. It's not for the faint of heart. This is a cool feature. I was chatting with AI, and I found out you can make an AI quiz and then upload it into Canvas. Like use Gemini to make the quiz and then upload it into Canvas without having to copy and paste all the questions. It's like, I blew my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys hanging out. So if you want to see how to do that, hang out with me for probably take another 10 minutes or so. This class not on a list of surveys, perfect. I love that. Yeah, let's problem shoot that. All right. All right. Give me 1 second, okay? And how about this? I'll give you guys the link to this survey here too.